because my Chicago White Sox in the news again this offseason, reportedly agreeing to terms with Liam Hendriks, who the Shredder just rated, according to Brian Kenny, as the top reliever in all of baseball. It's a 3-year deal with a 4th-year option. It's going to be about $54 million guaranteed, according to these reports. But Kev, the Bird app is a-buzzin'. This from our good friend Adnan Virk, AV, saying, love what the White Sox are doing. Clear-cut favorite in the Central. I can hear the whooping and hollering from Steven Nelson right now. Tis true. Tis true. I did bother the neighbors. My question for you is, do you agree with Adnan? Do you think that the Southsiders are now the clear-cut favorites?
No, I don't think they're the clear-cut favorites. What happens is we get excited because we add players and we make teams better. And yes, on paper, everything's great. You still have to go through a year, right? And you still have to play together. We talk about this word chemistry, right? So chemistry is a part of the game. I don't know how many wins it is at the end of the season, but I know it's something. So guys have to stay healthy, guys have to get along, guys have to do their job. But when you're sitting here as a White Sox fan, the question is, Steven, yes, you guys definitely are the clear-cut favorites in the Central.
Okay.
And you saw the damage they can do offensively.
Yeah.
I just have never been sold, like when they post up in postseason baseball, where's the matchups going? You know, you got to match up with the Clayton Kershaws. You have to match up with the Garrett Coles. So those are the guys that you have to beat to get that trophy. And so I've never been really clear-cut on that. Now you're looking at some depth, and you're looking at this team kind of all coming together, and hopefully, yeah, it makes you happy.
I agree. I hear what you're saying. On paper, things look great, but you still got to play the games. There have been paper champions before who have been terrible once you put them out on the field to play. You know, look, he's clearly going to take over for Alex Colomé, who was outstanding. The last 2 years, he's the White Sox closer, the second best save rate in all of baseball. Liam Hendriks, though, is a different animal. Different animal compared to Colomé, yes, in terms of stuff and strikeouts and velocity and all that, but he has turned himself into a different animal over the last couple of years in Oakland. And Kev, you could speak to this as a former player. This dude, you can't help but love him. He's been designated for assignment a handful of times, including once by the Oakland A's. And instead of turning tuck and tail and packing it in, he looked at himself, he put in the work, he totally revamped his long toss program and changed himself as a pitcher. And here he is now signing a deal reportedly worth $54 million guaranteed. You got to be stoked for a player like that.
100%. And this has not come easy. Sometimes it's got to be adjustment periods that you go through. Sometimes you got to just dismantle the whole scene, whether it's a guy like Liam Hendriks who couldn't throw strikes or working on a secondary pitch or whatever it is, or then it's going into the bullpen and saying, all right, this is my new role. So what he's done is he's taken on roles. He used to be the starter. We saw him go into postseason and play against the Yankees a few years back, and he started the game, and then, you know, he's been the closer. But what I love about this is he's never quit. This game will bring you to your tears. Rarely do you have a guy like Ken Griffey Jr. who's going to be at the big leagues at 18, played a completely perfect career, make the Hall of Fame. Like, those guys are stars. But guys like Liam Hendriks, there's more of those stories than there are of the Ken Griffey Jr. stories, as an example. And guys sometimes get burnt out. They quit. They're done with it. It's too hard for them. And a guy like Liam, good eye might, tough old Australian. He and his wife do great things. Well-deserved. Well-deserved.
Yes.
$54 million, the richest contract we've gotten this offseason. Maybe this is a start because, you know what, baseball looks to be on time. Maybe that the checkbooks start getting open. But I know it's a weird time for a player out here in free agency. So maybe this is just a nice wink. Let's get this ball rolling.